Hey everyone, Mark here at TapeTally.com for your Week 41 recap. This week we saw the markets pull back all over 2% for the US indices. The Canadian indices pulled back just under 2%. Oil was up, gold was down about 1.5%, and volatility was up. This week I'm maintaining my weekly ratings. The long-term outlook for the market still continues to be bullish, while the outlook for the Canadian markets and gold market remain neutral, and oil is bearish. Let's jump into the charts here. So here we can see the weekly chart. I kind of do a top-down approach here, so I take the longest term time frame and look at that one first. And we see here, we talked about this a number of weeks ago, this being acting as a level of resistance. Now it's going to be acting as a level of support. As you can see here, we're in a multi-year uptrend, and this continues to be the case, and I don't see that changing. Right now we're kind of in the middle of the trend, or the channel, and it continues to be quite bullish in my opinion. We jump through the indices. You can see that we did have quite a large pullback on the Qs, but it's just right in the middle of the channel. We can see here for the Russell 2000, we see it approaching its upward trend line here. This is more of a little bit more messy chart, but this is sort of forming. It did break that pennant pattern and pulled immediately back, so now we're kind of looking for a break from this an ascending triangle here at some point. Dow Jones Industrial Average, same kind of deal, right in the middle of the channel. Gold, we talked about this earlier. I had talked about it moving. I moved from bearish to neutral, and it kind of shot right through this downward trend line, and now it's kind of consolidating sideways. And I'm waiting for a little bit more consolidation, maybe here around the 160 level. With maybe some sideways action, maybe even a dip below the 150, and then higher. Oil, same kind of deal. I'm still bearish on this one. It remains in this descending triangle, and I will continue to be bearish until we see it move, as I've said before. Canadian markets, same kind of deal. It's kind of forming this. It's almost a topping pattern. It was starting to form here, but it kind of broke out of here. This is kind of a messy chart here. I don't know what to make of this really, but I would lean toward the bullish side, especially if we start getting some movement in oil and gas to the upside. Taking a look at the daily charts, jump right back here. I put on the 50-day moving average and the 200-day moving average. As you can see here, the 50-day, the light blue, the market pulled back quite a bit this week, and it's kind of right at the 50-day moving average, and this should be defended. If not, there's a number of key levels here. Let's just point those out. There's a number of key levels right here. This is the August or early September lows, right? And we got a number of levels that it has to go through in order to make it sort of a bull market. Although we did see a break of this trend line here. Talked about this last week. We saw a break of this trend line. This is sort of a this channel was broken. Let me just pull this off here. Okay. So this trend line was broken this week, but we can draw a channel this way as well. Let me just pull this off. So we have to look at all possibilities here. So this is another channel for me. I know it popped out there momentarily, but we could look for some support here. It's approaching this bottom trend line here in the channel, and also the 50-day moving average. So I would expect we would see a small bounce here. If we cannot make a new high and we continue lower, then we may get a 15 to 20% correction. But the long-term trend remains up. And that's kind of same on the Qs. We broke this upward trend line. So at the end of the day here, what we want to look at, oh, I deleted that one. Okay, so the biggest thing that kind of surprised me this week is how strong the bears came out. We haven't seen any big breath moves either way, either to the upside or the downside, and having the bears basically take over each day this week was quite surprising to me, and we'll see if they can continue that in the future weeks here. At the end of the day, though, the market only moved down just over 2% in a week. It's not a full-fledged bull market or anything. The long term, as we pointed out, the long term channel is still in effect. We're still in an upward trend, and I don't think there's too much to worry about yet. So in the coming week here, we should be seeing earnings starting to ramp up quite a bit. It looks like there's still quite a bit of negativity out there. Elections are coming up, U.S. elections, and there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding that. Economic data, there's a whole bunch coming out this week on retail, housing, factory activity, inflation, all that stuff. So it's going to be quite a busy week. I may be taking a short little break here for the next couple of weeks. I've got some projects to work on, so that'll be on the forefront for me. And so I guess we'll see how it goes this week. Trade well.